You're going to be enjoying a beautiful day in much of the Northeast today and also the Midwest as well. Once the rain does clear in the Northeast, Midwest already looking at a picture-perfect morning. Good morning and welcome to the Weather Center. This go-around, it is sponsored by General Motors, and I'm Will Annan.
And I'm Cheryl Lemke. In the Northeast, rain is making the morning commute a very wet one. Also today, Orlando will be hot and could see some thunderstorms later, while Chicago will enjoy sunny skies and mild temperatures. Boston is seeing some light rain at this hour, and so is New York City. And now with more details, here's Will.
Thanks a lot, Cheryl. Once again, we're looking at some rather crummy weather right now for the big cities in the Northeast, but things are going to be getting better. Look at the cloud shield back towards the west. We're looking at fair skies now from upstate New York, getting all the way over towards Buffalo and Erie and much of the state of Ohio, where the state fair begins now for the state of Ohio and Columbus for the upcoming weekend. And look at most of the lower Michigan too, with dew points in the 40s and lower 50s. A fabulous beginning to your morning as well. Beneath the clouds, we have the rain. We'll talk about that for sure from Boston and much of Massachusetts, getting right down towards New York City and Philly. But it's going to be ending from southwest to northeast as the day progresses. So by mid-afternoon for sure, much of this rainfall is going to be gone. Heaviest of the rainfall right now is offshore of Atlantic City. There it goes, the heavier bands of rain, but still looks like a soaker for Boston, Hartford, down towards New York at least for the present time. It is all being caused by this wave of low pressure beginning to work its way northeastward. So as you work your way back towards the west and southwest, things will be getting much, much better as the afternoon progresses. Boston right now with the rain, 65 degrees, 68 in New York City, 69 both in Philadelphia and Washington. And look at the 50s now from upstate New York into northern parts of Maine and getting all the way back into the Midwest where it's cooler still. Check on some of these numbers right now. Marquette, Michigan, down to 44 degrees. Same thing, International Falls, 54 for Green Bay. Chicagoland, 62 degrees. We do pick up warmer conditions down to the south, looking at more cloud cover here, and some rain beginning to break out too. We can show you that on radar. We'll take a look at the satellite, and we know there's rain breaking out right over and through here, the south central and southwestern parts of Kansas, confirmed by radar. There it is, with a few more specks of rain south of Kansas City right now, and beginning to move into south central and southeastern parts of Missouri. Not that particularly heavy at the present time. Looks like a few more showers as well, trying to organize just south of Valentine, Nebraska. Well, there's more rain to talk about as we head southbound, and with that, let's go to Cheryl Lemke.
Well, you're headed for another hot, steamy day across the south. However, this morning, it's locally heavy rain in parts of Tennessee, Mississippi, and Alabama. That's the concern. As we check out the radar picture, it looks very gray and gloomy and very wet across the Tennessee Valley. So for those of you heading to work this morning, chances are your morning commute will take you a little bit longer than usual. Now, in some cases, especially in western Tennessee, the rain has been quite heavy. And we still have flood warnings out for Lauderdale County just north of Memphis. Excessive rain since last night, and the rain continues. We've had some showers too stretching over towards Nashville, Tennessee this morning, and then some showers and thunderstorms though rumbling across the Cumberland Plateau, streaming over towards Bristol and Johnson City, Tennessee, and Knoxville. So really be careful this morning. And again, these showers and thunderstorms are sliding off towards the south and the east, and looks like those of you in Atlanta will eventually get hammered by some heavier showers and thunderstorms a little bit later on today. Also keep the umbrellas handy across the Texas-Oklahoma panhandle. We've had the rain north of Amarillo through Dalhart. Quite a bit of rain too over towards Cimarron County in Oklahoma. More rains over towards the Guymon area, and the rain is slowly easing off towards the east. Well, we have a very wet scenario this morning with more showers and thunderstorms likely this afternoon, as this front that's draped across the nation's midsection will simply not be budging very much, and so that front will serve as the focal point for more showers and storms. Elsewhere, though, high pressure camped right over the northern Gulf is helping to suppress most of the shower and thunderstorm activity around the Gulf coastal region. However, by later on today, the high heat and the high humidity will eventually win out, and the high heat and the high humidity will cause some showers and thunderstorms to percolate over sections of the south. And along with that, too, we're talking about more warm and very steamy conditions across the south. Already 70s and 80s widespread. 80 right now for Tampa, 75 for Atlanta, and a sticky 82 degrees for Dallas. And those 70s and 80s will eventually give way.
Light to moderate rain is affecting places from Boston to Washington, D.C. this morning, and thunderstorms are a big threat today in the Deep South. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Weather Center. I'm Bruce Edwards.
And I'm Mike Motley. Thanks for joining us. It's going to be a nice day in the Midwest. You'll be cool and dry, but not so in parts of the South where it's going to be another hot one once again. Well, what can you expect? Well, thunderstorms this afternoon in Atlanta, but much nicer conditions in Cleveland, the best location in the nation, and across the Midwest, which will be spring-like today. To the east, umbrellas will be needed in the nation's capital and New York as rain affects the Northeast. Bruce has details.
I tell you, that Mike's coming around nicely, isn't he? He's got that down. The best location is going to be that way, nice and quiet. But as you look to the northeast, you do see the clouds blanketing the region. It's with the front, you got a little ripple of low pressure. It's sort of fortunately or unfortunately, depending upon your point of view, the heaviest storms, as you see, are blowing up out here in the ocean and staying that way. But the Big Apple is wet. That's right, a tower cam shot from New York City earlier this morning shows the Brooklyn Bridge, and rain shrouded at that, the clouds and some light rain, and the headlights on in the vehicles. So you might want to take a few more minutes to get to work this morning, because it may take you that much longer. But again, the wet weather is going to taper off later today. It'll hold temperatures into the 70s, and it'll get the heck out of here by the weekend. Talk about the best of all worlds. Well, we see the clouds expanding into the south, and then they continue along that boundary into the mid-south here. Some thunderstorms into Missouri, wet weather into West Texas. Unfortunately, Dallas, no such luck, although Oklahoma City could see a shower and should see temperatures below 100 degrees for the first time in a while. Here's the front. It is sagging to the south, dipping into the panhandle. Some storms up here, and this ripple of low pressure will instigate things. A little weakness in the front, triggering some storms here into Middle Tennessee. And as the front heads north, there's the wave along the front that we saw in the Midwest yesterday. That's what's helping scoop in the moisture into the northeastern U.S. Here's the radar showing the moisture right along that frontal boundary with some embedded thunderstorms here and there. One of the northeastern quadrant. Again, Boston, Providence, Hartford, New York City, Philadelphia, even to Baltimore and D.C., another little batch of moisture is beginning to move in. We close up into the Boston metro region, and you can see Boston here in west side of town, then you head up back towards the Mass Pike and back towards Worcester and Springfield, and you get some moderate downpours. Everything's heading pretty much east-northeast. It is wet here, and it's going to stay that way for much of the day today. Now, the other end of the system, around the nation's capital, a bit of a respite from showers in between, a little hole here, but then some more light rain coming off the Blue Ridge Mountains and sliding in towards the nation's capital down to Charlottesville and approaching Richmond. Everything here is sliding off towards the east. We continue our tour out of Charlotte, and we see the Smoky Mountains getting wet and some thunderstorms here. Bristol, Johnson City, Tennessee, up towards Bluefield and Wytheville, Virginia, coming across I-81. It is a little damp here this morning. Some storms in Nashville, south towards the border of Alabama, and then around Crossville and Murfreesboro, some rain, showers around Cleveland, Tennessee to Chattanooga. And then we find some other thunderstorms near Jonesboro, extending on up into southern Missouri around Springfield, Missouri, and then other showers and storms around Dodge City and Pratt, Kansas, with lighter rain around Perryton, which is the home of Indians manager Mike Hargrove. Mike?
Well, temperatures soar again today in Texas and parts of the South, but in the Midwest, you're in for a gorgeous day. Now, looking at what's happening to the Northeast, nice temperatures with clouds and showers, though, and nicer weather on the way. Once the rain leaves the Northeast, in Boston, you're at 64, and you've got showers. And in New York City, clouds and showers and 66 over Central Park. In Philadelphia, Center City at 67. In Washington, D.C., 69 inside the Beltway with some light showers there. Further up the coast, Bangor at 61, Caribou 57, not on the coast but inland. And Pittsburgh, 61 degrees towards Three Rivers Stadium. Now, looking at what's happening to the south, it's the same old story, unfortunately, for Dallas. You're into the danger zone in Dallas, eastern Texas, down towards Houston and Corpus Christi. Louisiana, too, and much of southwestern Mississippi in the danger zone. And now southeastern Georgia, south of Augusta towards Savannah and Waycross. You're into the danger zone, so be careful if you have to be outside today. And Dallas, it's the same old story for 25 straight days, 100 degrees or higher, and today will be 26. But the record is 42 set back in 1980, and that won't be broken because Dallas should finally have a high probably around the middle to upper 90s by Sunday, so I know you're happy for that if you live in the Metroplex. Right now, the Metroplex at 80. Jackson, Mississippi at 78 degrees, also 78 in Birmingham. Further down I-20 in Atlanta, 75. Over in Charleston, South Carolina, you're at 78. Also 78 down the road in Jacksonville, Florida. 82 at Panama City, 80 at Tampa, and way down in Miami, 80.
seeing light to moderate rain this morning as you get out and about in New York City. In fact, much of the Northeast is seeing rain for the morning commute. Hello, I'm Will Annan and welcome to Weather Center.
And I'm Cheryl Lemke. Now, meanwhile, across most of the Midwest, you'll be enjoying a very pleasant day. And a good example is Detroit, where you'll see sunny skies and mild temperatures. But in Houston, you'll bake under highs of close to 100 degrees. Miami also will be hot and could see some thunderstorms, while Philadelphia is seeing some rain right now. And with all the details, here's Will.
Let's check it out because once again the cloud cover is beginning to ease up now as you work your way back towards the west and also to the northwest across much of New England and back across much of the northeastern states. Here's where all the ugly weather is right now. And we saw heavier rain earlier on. It was with this batch of cloud cover right in through here. It moved across much of New Jersey and just skimmed much of eastern Massachusetts as well. Take a look at the rainfall. This is the big view right now, the regional view. We will show that the rainfall, the back edge right now, getting real close to Philadelphia and also New York City. It won't be too much longer, another hour or two, and we'll get rid of the rain. And then the clouds should be dissipating as well. Closer still, we'll show the rainfall from Philly, New York, up towards Hartford, and also Boston, Massachusetts. And you had those umbrellas up this morning as you headed to work in Boston, that's for sure. Light to moderate rain has been falling in the city since about 2 a.m. The rain's going to continue until late morning, until early maybe this afternoon. And then temperatures will be mild with highs in the 70s. And one thing is for sure, the sun will be back in Boston this afternoon. That's a guarantee. Slow clearing, but by the time you head home for sure, it's going to be sunny by at least a couple of hours. Here's the wave of low pressure beginning to work its way northward along the front. That produced the overrunning precipitation and the rain this morning, which was widespread. Philly, New York, up towards Boston, Mass. Let's take a look at the temperatures right now. Boston 63, same thing in Albany. Lots of clearing now throughout western New York State and much of the state of Pennsylvania, where it was a beautiful morning here in Pittsburgh at 62 and 59 degrees in Detroit. Look at these numbers now, up from the low to middle 40s in Marquette. Marquette has jumped now to 51. International Falls at 47 degrees, 66 degrees in Chicago. The muggier weather, the farther south you work across much of the Midwest. That's because you're already looking at a return flow of east-southeasterly winds. There is some rain to talk about as well. Look at the clouds beginning to bubble up right now throughout the western parts of Kansas, while much of the Midwest is perfectly clear. And the rainfall, there it is, Dodge City to Russell, a few more sprinkles right around Valentine, Nebraska, but nothing like you saw yesterday, where some spots in Kansas, Missouri, and the state of Nebraska saw 6 to 8 inches of rainfall and also a lot of flooding. There's rain elsewhere around the country, including the deep south. For that, we head over to Cheryl.
That's right. In fact, your morning commute is being disrupted by locally heavy rain and thunderstorms in parts of the south. And flooding is also a concern in some areas. And as we take a look at the latest radar picture from the Tennessee Valley, looks like many of you will have a slow go as you're commuting to work this morning. We have the showers and thunder showers still rumbling across Tennessee. We've had a few claps of thunder this morning around Jackson, Tennessee. The showers and thunder showers right around the Nashville area pressing southeastbound, and more rain continues to glide across the Cumberland Plateau and working its way across North Carolina. And especially around Boone and around the Blue Ridge Parkway, you're going to be seeing some messy conditions this morning. Even across northern sections of Georgia, we're now picking up some rain just outside of Chattanooga and right around the Rome, Georgia area. And for Atlanta, well, we have mostly cloudy skies. The clouds will continue to thicken and lower, and certainly by later on today, you'll be seeing some showers and thunderstorms, and some of those could be locally heavy. We've had some messy weather, too, for those of you traveling this morning across the Texas-Oklahoma Panhandle. Showers around Amarillo, back over towards Sherman County. There's been some spotty rains, too, from Guyman and back over towards Gage, and they are slowly drifting off towards the east. And all this wet weather is being caused by a slow-moving front, the same one that we've been tracking for several days now. It's meandering from the Plain States, and it's trailing over towards the Tennessee Valley. And because this front will not be budging very quickly, it will continue to initiate some showers and thunderstorms throughout the afternoon. Now, in contrast, most of the deep south has been rather quiet this morning thanks to high pressure, but that too will be changing. With the heat and the humidity building throughout the day, showers and thunderstorms will also be building, and they'll be rather random in nature across the south. Also, something that's going to be building will be the high temperature.